Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Bwoy Cuisine. Today we're going to be using our Italian chicken meatballs over a creamy polenta and tomato sauce.
Hello guys. To get us started today, we're going to be heating some olive oil, to which we're going to be adding our garlic. This is for tomato sauce and some fresh basil. Now we want that to go until the garlic and the basil is aromatic and we start getting a little color around the side. For sauce, we're going to be using San Manzano tomatoes.
What's so special about those?
San Manzano tomatoes are known from Italy. They come from a region close to Mount Vesuvius, and they are similar to Roma tomatoes. The difference is that the outer skin is not as fibrous, and it's low in acidity, so it's not very tart, or not as tart as a plum tomato would be. They make very good sauces. So we want to cook our garlic until the garlic starts to caramelize around the edges, become golden brown, and the basil, man, smell of vision. One day we got to get that. Yeah. So once we get that going, we see the color coming, then we're going to add our San Manzano tomatoes and let that mash those a little bit. And you're going to let that come to a boil again and simmer. Now, a lot of people, when they cook tomato sauces and they use like a plum tomato, because of the high acidity, some people put something sweet in there to cut that acid. With these guys, you don't need to do that. You just let them go. You can deglaze with wine. As a matter of fact, I have some wine here. I'm going to add that to it.
What type of wine is it?
This is a semi-sweet wine. You want something that is dry. You don't want anything overly sweet. You're cooking Italian. Preferably, you want to go with an Italian white wine. So that's good. So once this comes to a boil, we're going to put it on the back burner and let it simmer. I made one earlier that we're going to be using to finish our sauce later on, or finish our dish. So our next item that we'll be cooking is a creamy polenta, and for that we're going to be using milk. Polenta is cornmeal, basically, and we're going to be infusing it with fresh thyme and basil.
So, if you are there other things you could use except for milk?
Yes, you can use chicken stock. You can also use, I know a friend of mine who loves to use heavy cream, or in our case, we're using milk. So there's something that is not as heavy. Other people will use just water. In Jamaica, we usually use cornmeal. I had that as a kid growing up. And what we would do is, while this is going, we're going to add a little bit of thyme and fresh basil, and we're going to let that cook. We come to a boil before we start adding our polenta. We're going to be using our chicken meatball that we make at Island Boy. These are 2-ounce meatballs.
But what if you can't find meatballs at your nearby grocery store? How can you make them at home?
You can make them easily. You can grind chicken. Preferably, you want to use like a thigh meat because it has more marbling, more fat in between the layers, and when you make it, it holds up longer. It won't get dry out. Okay. And you can, as far as seasoning it, you can buy like Italian seasoning in the supermarket and use that to flavor it, salt and pepper. And not because that way you'll get an Italian profile, but besides that, you can add whatever you want: oregano, basil, salt and pepper, fresh cracked pepper. So here is your milk is coming together. Mm-hmm. And what we're going to do is just add a little bit of cornmeal. And you don't want your milk fully boiling. to be on the safe side, you don't want your milk fully boiling to add your polenta, because then you'll get lumps.
How much polenta are you using?
Well, here I'm using about a third of a cup to get us started. And you smell that? The fresh flavor, the fresh herbs are coming out. And you want to do that. So about a quarter to a third, depends on how thick you want to make your polenta mixture. Incidentally, we also in Jamaica, and it's common more so in England, where they use we make cornmeal porridge. And so here we go. We have that nice. Yeah. And there are different types of polenta. There's a yellow polenta, which is from the yellow cornmeal. We're using a white polenta here today. So I want to turn this down a little bit.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's really thick.
Yeah. And it burns like a bug, I tell you. You know. And while this is going, we're gonna add a little butter. You might give me that pat of butter over there. Yep, drop it in. Yeah. And we mix that in to get that creaminess to it. And the longer you cook it, the more it will reduce. The liquid evaporates, the cornmeal, and it will swell up. Yeah. And then we're gonna add some of our ricotta cheese. You're not limited to ricotta. You can add all sorts of, the sky's the limit as far as what you want to put in there. For me personally, I like to add gorgonzola because it has that little funk to it. I really like that. But because we're using a low-fat butter here, it's going to be, it's not as heavy. So adding the ricotta is more like adding more butter to it. So now we're going to add a little bit of cracked pepper to that bad boy. And we're going to get ready to plate up. We'll put this on the side. And then we come with our polenta. All right. I like it a little bit runny. You know, you can make it a little bit thicker if you want. All right. And while that's there, so we have this here. We'll just put this on the side here.
And our sauce next.
And then, no, let's put our meatball on there.
Oh.
Okay.
So it's not completely like spaghetti and meatballs.
No, not at all. And then our sauce, we wanna, if you look at that, you see the thickness is, that's it, just simmering and reduced down. And you have your garlic and all that bad boy there. You just put a little bit on there, so it has a little chunkiness to it. And then we want to put some Parmesan on there.
Don't forget your leaf.
And we add our basil. And voila, finito. All right, you want to try it?
Yes.
All right. Oh, what do you want to use?
I'll use it.
All right, here you go. Cool that down. That's very hot. Take it.
There you go.
Yeah. It's really hot, eh?
So hot.
Yeah. And then we have our sauce. It's not like store-bought sauce. Actually, it's very good when you mix the sauce together on there. Come on. No?
I need to finish eating this one. This one's good though.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hot.
Oh.
Just cools down a little bit.
Yeah. Oops. I need a knife, I think. No, we're good. Yeah. Try that. Ready? Go. I like the sauce itself with the polenta. Perfecto. Okay, guys, thank you for joining us. See you on Friday when we're going to be making jerk chicken quesadilla, and we look forward to having you then. As usual,
don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
all right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Ciao.